Refund $18 million. Meghan 12 podcast episode suddenly vanished from Spotify after Netflix trailer dropped and fall flat. Meghan Markle's new podcast has been labelled as an absolute flop after failing to crack the UK top 100 podcast chart on Spotify. The Duchess of Sussex released Archetypes on the streaming platform on August 23rd, as it started with so much fanfare and added cost tens of millions of dollars, but Meghan Markle's project has been an abject failure. As on Wednesday, final episode of the actress turned HRH turned content creator and chicken owner series was released, titled Man-ifesting A Cultural Shift. And after its 12-week run, with a breakout respect for the passing of Queen Elizabeth, there was just a few nervous executives at Spotify, the ones who paid a reported $32 million to sign up Meghan and her husband Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex. Despite kicking off in late August, amid much fanfare, including Times Square billboards, and briefly taking out the #1 podcast spot, Archetypes' launch and bang has been reduced to puttering whimper in the show currently down to 31st most popular slot on the streaming platform, only just managing to beat a 12-hour sound machine, no loops or fades, which reports to be 12 hours of continuous noise you can sleep to. Not a single one of Archetypes' dozen episodes is in the top 100 episode chart either. Now a source reported that the 12th episode of Meghan's podcast today disappeared from the Spotify platform after the Sussex's Netflix later dropped on YouTube and on Thursday to disrupt the US trip for the Prince and the Princess of Wales. As the Duchess's docuseries on Netflix will reportedly begin airing next week and promises a focus on her and Prince Harry's own story since they left live from the frontline royals. The last episode of the podcast saw Meghan invite male guests onto her show for the first time, after admitting that Harry had encouraged her to broaden the scope of the show's guests. Meghan quoted Greek post-war poet Dinos Christianopoulos, and it said, "What did you do to bury me? But you forgot that I was a seed." The Duchess of Sussex also insisted she will not appear in a reality show, stop watching the Real Housewives series when her life had its own level of drama. Meghan did not say if Archetypes would return. Spotify has reportedly become impatient with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle about the pace of recordings, 12 episodes in 2 years. There have also been remarks about how far down the charts her podcast and individual episodes have dropped. In September, Mail Online told how Spotify has been accused of wrongly using its own official podcast to keep Meghan Markle in #1, when she was lagging behind Joe Rogan and other stars in the terms of daily listeners. At the time, Archetypes was ranked at the top podcast in the US and the UK and all of Spotify's main English-speaking markets, as the first 2 shows with Mariah Carey and Serena Williams are so low at 25, and no higher than 5 in the streaming giant's own top episode rankings. Podcasting has not proven a particularly successful vehicle for the Duchess of Sussex, and the series has not unlocked anyone's potential aside from several critics' willingness to consider a mid-morning G&T. An anonymous professional podcast producer speaking to The Telegraph in early September called it synthetic and cringeworthy and had said, "My prediction is that it's all a promo and it's bad, as the podcast will be a massive loss leader for Spotify." So far, there's not been a hint that there might be a second series in the works.